So I had this crazy powerful experience this morning in my quantum meditation, and I wanted to share it with you guys, as well as break down a little bit more about how to tap into the quantum field and the divine consciousness, this infinite consciousness that makes up the world, that makes up every single living being and all that exists. How to tap into that, how to use that power to help you fuel forward in your relationships, in your life, in your career, and ultimately in your personal fulfillment. And the experience I had in this morning's meditation was super, super profound, and it's something that I think everyone can relate to in a major block that keeps them stuck from showing up fully and from feeling totally confident in their truest self. So even though I've been doing this inner work and this mindset work and been on my spiritual journey since 2011, there are still, what I love about it is that every single day I'm still uncovering new things. And by having an open mind and a curious, keen interest to continue to learn and evolve and grow, I'm just constantly being gifted these beautiful opportunities to heal, to rise above past traumas, past pain, past insecurities, and shift out into the identity that I'm becoming and the version that is the truest evolvement of who I am. So let's dive into this video. I want to share a bunch with you about this and share how you can start doing this work in your own life as well. So stick around till the end so that you get everything I'm going to be sharing in here, and let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle and I'm here to help you live your truth. And today's video, I am super excited about this. Now, I already have a video talking specifically about your vibrational state. You can check that out. I'll link it down below. It looks like this one. But I wanted to put this on here really quickly to show you the emotional vibration scale. I think I said that really wrong, but the different vibrations of emotions. So the lowest vibrations we have are guilt and shame. And when you feel shame for something you've done or something that makes you who you are, to me, shame also ties in with unworthiness. And that is going to be a main thing I'm talking about on this video, is how to tackle that unworthiness that is deeply rooted from childhood, from past lives even possibly, and from that deep block that's keeping you from reaching your highest evolvement. So when we look at the different emotions, you can see the more closed off you are, the more down here, and the lower your emotional scale or your emotional state is, the lower you are on the vibrational scale. Now, quite literally, when you're down here, it's very closed off. And what's so beautiful about this scale is that it literally shows it in the diagram, is that the more negative your emotions are, the more closed off you are, the more closed-minded you are, and narrow focused. So when you are feeling really bad about yourself, or you're stuck in a negative emotion and you're not feeling good, you can imagine right now for a second a time when you felt that way, and think about how focused, narrow focused you were on that feeling. It was so hard for you to find good things. This is why gratitude's so important. But when you're in this low vibrational state, it's really difficult to find things that you can be positive about, because it's just this, the more negative you get, the more down you get, that's the smaller it's squeezing you, that's just becoming your main focus. Whereas when you start to open up, even neutrality, and then you start to get into joy and you get into love, which is 500 on the vibrational scale. I believe it's 500 or 600. But then pure consciousness is that really powerful, true version of you who's up here, who's elevated, who's tapped in, tuned in, turned on to the source, to your higher self, and to your divine connection with the universe or with God or source, whatever you want to call it. So when you're in this level of pure consciousness, it's expansive, it's beautiful, it's limitless, which is why I have that tattooed here. Because when you're in that place, there are no limitations. That box, that narrow focus becomes more and more open as you elevate your own vibration and your own awareness and how you're showing up in the world, what you're focusing on. So when you get into love, when you get into gratitude, joy, when you get up even higher and you're using meditation or using quantum healing or using yoga nidra and some of the different energy work modalities there are out there, when you get into that higher level of consciousness, this is where so many people have what they call divine downloads, right? They're beautiful ideas, and so many inventions come from this level of consciousness because you are limitless. It is just expansive. You're just literally connected to the pure consciousness and that conscious field, and you're able to really connect at a level where there aren't the same amount of fears or doubts or blocks or things that in our physical reality we would use as excuses or reasons to not achieve something. But when you're up in that high vibration, it's like everything is possible and there are no limitations, so you're able to really think and attract and align with way more. So from an energy standpoint, obviously the higher you get, the more your life is going to open up, the better you're going to feel, the more you're going to continuously attract people, money, opportunities, lifestyle, overall happiness, all of that good stuff. So with that being said, this morning I was doing this meditation where because I've been working with Amelia. She's an amazing quantum healer. I've got her info linked down below. I highly recommend checking her out if you are working through different blocks or trauma. We've done a few sessions, and even the meditations, which is what I'm sharing today, have totally transformed and helped me release some things that I thought I had released and shift different timelines on the quantum field that allowed me to break free from old identifications and old stories and blocks that were still showing up and keeping me stuck. So her information is down below. Shoot her a message, connect with her, let her know that Kara, your girl Kara, sent you her way. So when we're connecting to quantum consciousness, this beautiful little happy person, this was me this morning, just like, So this morning, every morning I've been doing these quantum meditations. What was so cool about this morning is because what you're doing in this meditation is really elevating out of your physical body and expanding into the quantum field, which is everything. Like this beautiful, you go further than the earth, you go further than space, you go further than the galaxy, further than the universe, and from that you tap into God consciousness. And that is what I drew all these little dots for, because I thought that would symbolize it. So, and then like this is like the divine white light, the purest healing light, healing energy, from source. So basically, if you're looking at this as like connecting, and I didn't even need for it to be the same thing, but now I'm like, whoa, that's a good, that worked out really well. It's like a good symbolism. So when you're tapped into that level of consciousness, you are connected to something way beyond your body. So this morning, I had this really amazing experience where one of the things that Amelia and I worked on a few weeks back in one of my quantum timeline repair sessions, which was basically when we went back to a specific moment in my childhood that had created a lot of feelings of unworthiness. It had created a lot of insecurities and blocks, not only around love and relationships, but also around money. And this was really interesting because I hadn't realized how much this memory was affecting me. But when we sat down to do this meditation and she started to bring me back, it just like this came to me and I was like, wow, this is something we need to work through. And so we did. And when we were doing this quantum timeline repair, one of the things that we were imprinting in after releasing that unworthiness and that feeling of I'm not good enough, and this experience had taught me that I wasn't worthy and that I wasn't deserving of any money and that like I wasn't good enough to receive. And so what we started to do after was imprint in this new energy. And by connecting to God consciousness as well as my multidimensional self, which is like my highest evolvement, my true soul, my true infinite potential, which right now is here within me, but because of my physical form, she's not like, or she, it's not a gender, but like that multidimensional self isn't able to be 110% expressed because of the physical reality and the constructs we have here, right? But it's with me all the time, as is yours, because your higher self, your soul self, is a part of you. So it's always here. It's about tapping into that and bringing that energy forward more fully each day. So while we were imprinting and connecting to God consciousness and my multidimensional self, we were bringing in that feeling of, I know that I am worthy and deserving on a cellular level. Like, I know that I'm worthy and deserving. And so every single morning for the last few weeks, when I've been doing my quantum meditation, I've been tapping into source and getting into this elevated state where I'm above my body and I'm just pure source, pure energy, and I'm in this beautiful connected space. And for me, I love meditation, so it's really cool to get into that place. But while I was doing it this morning, I started to have this huge release and I started crying, and this is what came through for me, and I'm gonna write it down, and I want to know in the comments if you can relate to this, because I think all of us are really hard on ourselves because of our upbringings, because of our own personal programming, because of the media, because of just human nature, to be honest. I think human nature, part of our experience here is to rise above our insecurities and our self-doubts. And so with that said, I think a lot of us have to experience that kind of part so that we can rise above it. So what came through to me this morning was I have always been more than enough to, to everyone but myself. And what was so profound about this, is it on the screen? It is. Yes. Okay, so what was so profound about this breakthrough, and I want to get you to comment if you relate to this, because I don't think I'm alone. So let me know in the comments if you feel this way too, where you are your own biggest critic and you are the one who's constantly feeling like you're not enough at something. You're not enough at your job. You're not enough in your relationships. You're not enough as a child, like as a daughter or a son. You're not enough here, you're not enough there, and like, oh, I have to work so much harder to accomplish this, and then I'll be able to take a break, and I need to get all these things done first and prioritize that before I prioritize myself. We're really hard at we're really our own worst critic, and we don't tend to put ourselves first. Now, throughout the years of my work, I've seen just how much, in order for me to create the life that I want, I need to believe that I'm worthy and deserving of it, right? Which means that I need to believe that my needs matter, and I need to have these healthy boundaries. I need to prioritize myself. I need to trust my intuition and do what feels best for me. And I've gotten really good at doing that and listening to that and trusting that. And that's because I've spent a lot of time working on it, and I've seen just how much that has shifted my life. But I noticed over the last few weeks, because I was working so strongly on imprinting in this deeper worthiness and this inner knowing of going, you know what, like, you have always been worthy and deserving on a cellular level, like every core, like the core of your being, you have always been more than enough. And I've been really feeling it and having these powerful meditations and this incredible wave of love and light washing over me every day when I do this meditation, and feeling so supported, so safe, so loved, which is what I'm imprinting in and is allowing me to continue to show up in a new state and a new belief system and a new identity for myself. But all of a sudden I realized, you know what, like, yes, it's made huge shifts, but there was this one thing, and I released that this morning, where it was like, you know what? I have been so hard on myself all the time still, where no matter what I do, I'm the one who's saying it's not good enough. Very rarely has someone else been saying, you know what, Kara, you're not good enough, or why didn't you do this better, or you didn't try hard enough. Very rarely has that happened. It's always been my own personal beliefs and stories and my pressure that I'm imposing on myself, telling myself that I'm still not good enough. So if I'm continuing to tell that story, how am I ever going to just be and just show up fully and own and stand in my power? So what was really cool, comment down below. I have always been more than enough. I've always been more than enough. I've always been more than enough. This is true for every single one of you. You have always been more than enough. The reason you don't believe it is because of programming, because of past experiences, because of beliefs that have been created, because of the influence of the media and those around you, because of past lives and past experiences that have held you back. I've done a lot of past life regression, and there was some experiences in past lives where I was totally abandoned, and I was mugged, and I was in this public place, and no one was hearing me, no one was helping me, and I was left there all on my own. Now, if I look at my present life and a lot of the things I've experienced in this life and a lot of the patterns that have shown up, it's like, like it makes so much sense that that's something that I experienced back then that has still energetically been impacting and affecting my present day life. So the more we tap into the quantum field and into this level of consciousness that is everything, and when we look at quantum, I'm running out of space on here, but when we look at like the quantum field and we look at our timelines, like time isn't linear. Everything exists all at once. So when I have a past life experience of being abandoned and stuff, if I can go back and heal that now, then it affects everything in the future and it affects everything in the present. And you can check out this video up here to learn more about the butterfly effect and how the quantum field and using the quantum field can help you to heal and repair these different timelines. But everything is connected. So when we have these experiences and we're tapping into the quantum field and we're tapping into God consciousness, that pure consciousness that creates worlds and makes up every single one of us, when we're in that state, we're able to actually heal and repair so many things that have been blocking us and so many things that are showing up. So for me, I guess the reason I wanted to share this is because I know that so many people out there struggle with unworthiness, with believing in themselves, with knowing that they deserve the best. And what I found through this quantum healing experience that was extra powerful for myself was literally having the energy shifts of, okay, I get it now. Like I really feel it now that I am more than enough. I always have been more than enough. And what came for me with this was that this flood of memories came through of like all of these times, these experiences with partners, with friends, with coaches, with teammates, with classmates, with parents, all of these experiences that in my mind, I had told the story of I wasn't good enough and I did something wrong and like I was at fault. But all of a sudden this morning, all of these memories came flooding through where it was like actually it was the opposite. It was like that person never said that I wasn't good enough. That person never criticized me. Those people actually really liked me and really liked being around me, but it was my own beliefs and my own insecurities coming through, my own unworthiness, that I projected that onto them and assumed that that's what they were thinking or feeling about me. And so I continued to carry that story and that identity and show up with it. But really, most of those people, if not all of those people and all of those memories that I had, they were never thinking that I wasn't good enough. They were always supportive or happy to be around me or whatever, like positive people. but it was just this story in my head that was keeping me stuck on the opposite track. And that is where most people stay stuck, my friends, because they're replaying a track and a story that doesn't work for them. So if you can relate to this, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up, turn on the notifications, and subscribe so that you're here for all the daily videos. And make sure you check out this video here really quickly, because this, I am sharing 2 powerful tools, and I'm diving more into this quantum healing so that you can understand how you can use that to heal your life, as well as another tool that I talk about all the time and that I love. So check out that video to dive into that even more. And thank you so much for being here. Again, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.